Remember that forgiveness isn't about the other person, it's about you. Like you were talking about earlier on, Lauren, about having that hot coal, right? Expecting someone else to get burned. And that's not true. We are the ones that are actually going to suffer first.
What if the best chapter of your life hasn't even begun yet? What lies within you is the power to live brighter, bolder, and truer than ever before. So welcome to Vivatude, where caregiving, connections, and career come into balance, and where your vitality, vision, and voice shines through. Because the revolution isn't out there, it's already within you. Welcome to Vivatude.
Welcome back to Vivatude. I'm Lauren Archer, and my guest today is Brenda Reiss. We are talking about the energy of forgiveness, coming home to yourself, and the idea that maybe life isn't happening to you, but it's happening for you. So with that, Brenda, I know that you've got a few tips that you can share for our listeners. If you're just starting to get these ideas, maybe you've been going through your own struggles in life, what can people do to activate this new technology, as you mentioned, of forgiveness, and how can it help people change?
Yeah. So the first one, what I want to share is, the first thing we need to do is we need to get honest with ourselves. Okay. We need to really get rigorously honest with ourselves first. And that means that we get to ask ourselves. So here's some questions, right? As we go through these tips. What's really, it's simple. What's not working anymore? We have a tendency as women, we do this. We kind of notice, but we push it aside and we keep going forward. We keep pushing through. And that's just not going to work. Remember, our body's going to keep the score. And I learned the hard way, and so many other people do too. So remember to get honest with yourself without blame is important. And it's not about judging our past, it's about lovingly acknowledging where you are now, because that's a little bit different with forgiveness than people are. We visit the past, but it's about now that
Mhm.
matters. And the second one I want to share is reclaiming your voice. You got to reclaim your voice because we've shoved it down, we've stuffed it, we've changed it, we've put on different masks. And so we've got to start in small ways. Even practicing some little things like, let me think about that. Or, no, that's not really what I want. That's a
Mm.
returning home to ourselves. To really say it to ourselves first and then speak it out loud. This is a coming home to ourselves. This is the forgiveness process. And the third thing is to practice self forgiveness first. And this is where we get to take a look at, where are you holding guilt? For how long we've stayed in a job we don't like, in a relationship we don't like, or how much we have given and not getting in return. Remember that forgiveness isn't about the other person, it's about you. Like you were talking about earlier on, Lauren, about having that hot coal, right? Expecting someone else to get burned. And that's not true. We are the ones that are actually going to suffer first. So, some questions to ask yourselves would be, where have I been silencing myself? What parts of me have I abandoned to be accepted? And what do I need now to feel whole?
Beautiful questions and very deep. I think a lot of people have not really had the experience or the freedom to lean in and to bring those sort of what I would call unconscious patterns, right? Things that I've just always done it this way, or I feel compelled to do it a certain way because that's what my mother did, or that's how how I'm expected to behave. And what you're talking about is really listening on a deeper level and inviting people to take those things that maybe they're uncomfortable with and aren't sure about, and bringing it up to the consciousness to be looked at. And I think what's really important, what I'm hearing you say, is not with judgment, but with curiosity, with the invitation to change. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, you said it very well. I call it the energy of curiosity.
Mm.
And with the energy of curiosity, that opens up my mind, right? To be able to think of a different way of being. So, because we all have our patterns, I mean, I'm talking to a hypnotherapist, so you know what I mean? We all have our patterns and we've got that well-worn path. And
Mhm.
so it takes a little bit to kind of just go a little to the left or a little to the right and to make that new one. But if I'm curious, just curious, then that helps me to get the courage to make a different choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So many women in midlife realize that they're putting everyone else's needs first, and we're at that point where it's time to start thinking about ourselves and what we can do differently. And I love this approach because it is really heart centered.
Yes. Yes.
When we come back, we are going to dive deeper into how people can work with you, where they can find you. I know you've got some wonderful gifts on your website. You've got a podcast that invites listeners to go deeper. So we're going to come back with Brenda Reiss and talk about how you can take these ideas and really use them to uplift your life on a lot of levels. This is Vivatude. My name is Lauren Archer, and we'll be right back.
And thanks for listening to Vivatude. 4 hosts, one each week. We help you revivitude your next chapter because purpose, passion, and prosperity isn't out there. They're already within you. Brighter, bolder, truer. Vivatude.